energy and rhythm towards winning these games.
Yeah, definitely. And also, I want to ask you, Celia, just on paper, looking forward to maybe who one of these teams would face. But actually, we'll get back to that as we are getting into game number 1 here of On Sait Pas versus Na'Vi. Let's see if they can start off strong here. Claiming match 1 will be some great momentum.
Yeah, these loaded carousels are some of people's favorites here, especially among pros. Not a ton of variance happening, just an extra item component on all of these carousels. Just adds a little bit of extra spice, a little bit more components to the game to give everyone just a little bit more item power.
Yep, just a little bit more as we see the orb coming through and its 3 costs. That, you know, that Hecarim unit, you know that I dislike that Hecarim unit, as we saw earlier in the first series of the day. Actually just a trait, but get it out of here. But 3 poppies and a Zoe. Ooh, okay, could be seeing some of that reroll direction.
Yeah, this is a wonderful shop for that option for sure. We'll be putting those 2 poppies in, and I imagine we will buy the poppy to at least make poppy 2 and pick up that Zoe as well. I imagine we'll sell that Hecarim, not looking like we're going towards multi-strikers.
Yeah, 100%. Not quite looking for that direction, but see if any more gold does come through in this round. Nope, just going to be the belt for a component. Let's sell the Vex off, though. And we get a Lilia.
Yep,
all right. Yep,
yep,
immediately picked up and slotted in.
Yeah, great spot for us saying, yo, wonderful opportunity for them to be able to play this really strong composition in the beginning of the game.
Yeah, we see Tartman with some Honey Mancer on the board very early. We have Shapeshifter Nico on the bench as well as a Vex, but probably not going to be anything you slot in super early unless you're going for some, like, you know, Eldritch Shapeshifters with that Syndra route. Or Vex, of course, if you have a 3 mage opener perhaps. But ooh, Fortune favors the bold. Great augment.
Yeah, especially if you want to be playing this reroll route, taking some of those losses early. But
no.
Trade Sector is one of my favorite augments in the game right now because you can save them. You can save them after each round and use them whenever you would like to on that big roll down.
Yeah, definitely. Trade Sector looking to be the consideration here. Generally roll the 2 augments that you don't like, and if you like one of the other ones that you rolled into, you'd roll that one, which actually does happen here. Maybe Sleight of Hand? And yes, it is.
Yeah, Sleight of Hand provides that full item, but also provides the opportunity to get just a little bit more combat power. And also, we re-rolled that 1 cost into the exact 2 costs that we were looking for. So that's just some good luck right there.
Yeah, definitely. And I think a large part of the consideration of picking Sleight of Hand is going to be that glove on the bench, right? If Tartman goes into this carousel, finds another glove, that is huge power out of that 2 GGs in the early game.
Yeah, that would be absolutely huge. But I know you want to use a lot of those glove components for this Kog'Maw, so we'll be interested to keep our eyes on that for sure.
Yeah, it might just be an early game thing running Honeymancer. It's not going to be as strong as some of the other early game boards, but it does have potential still to, you know, get some round wins, as we see Mentorship 2 from Ugul. And a Witchcraft Hwei, which I think that's the first time we've seen that, isn't it?
Yeah, on Hwei for sure, but this is a very powerful start, as we've talked about. That Witchcraft emblem on specifically a Karma in the late game is so incredibly powerful, and to be able to play that direction from 2-1 augment is something that they're looking for, and they'll continue to get different ones of these emblems throughout the game with that flexible augment.
Yeah, Flexible is one that is so fun and actually just very strong in the stats as well. And it's especially strong when you get high impact emblems such as Witchcraft. That is a fantastic way to start off this game here for Experian. On Sait Pas, feeling very good about that one. However, oh, just 1 unit loss actually. That's perfect for Judasaur continuing the win streak. Loss streak still being maintained there as well, and just a 1 unit loss.
Yeah, we have Tartamin and Jipo both making 10 gold here alongside Opal on the bottom for OSP. And I want to go back to a little bit of these guys' first series in this tournament. Jipo was the only player on Na'Vi that placed in the top 4 in his first matches, going first and third, trying to put the team on his back, but it was not quite possible. So want to keep an eye on them to see if they can repeat that performance.
Yeah, definitely. If they're able to repeat that performance and another member of Na'Vi does step up to the plate, that could just be enough in and of itself. But obviously, you want everyone on the team to kind of play their part, be it griefing someone else on Sait or just playing good standard TFT for yourself, as we do see a Mogul's Mail there for Crazy Moving. Of course, on a Wukong, it is very, very strong.
Yeah, we do see that Syndra on the other side and stacking up here early with that Shimmer Scale as well. And that's looking pretty good for their chances in this game.
Yeah, definitely. 42 stacks on the Rage Blade. Judasaur not able to continue with that win streak. That is only going to be there for Songyo right now at 100 HP. It is Opal and Experion on Seipa, though, going for that full loss.
And as we see the portal come into effect here, the loaded carousels with those extra components on there already making a big difference, giving each of our players some more resources early in the game, slammable items included on each of these champions possibly.
Yeah, actually, I personally love loaded carousels, just having that extra flexibility. If you're going for one specific component and it gets, like, you know, grief, someone else takes it and you're like, okay, there's still gonna be that component maybe on another unit, or maybe it's just a full item that I really want in the future as well. So I just love that flexibility, being able to have more of that options in your favor.
Yeah, and this is a little bit awkward. We have that Stars Are Born, but we have a Syndra 2 on bench because we want that other Syndra to be stacking up these stacks. And I know it's only been 3 combats, so it is definitely a business decision to stick with that Syndra 1.
Yeah, one of two things could happen here. It's Gpo says, okay, that sucks, I don't keep those stacks from Syndra, but Syndra 2 is very powerful, so I'm going to swap the items over, sell the Syndra 1 right now, or commit to going for a Syndra 3. And Gpo definitely looking to go towards that direction, wanting to maintain all of the current Syndra stacks and looking to win the game there, of course, with that Syndra 3.
Yeah, man, this Wukong is just farming now at
Wukong
2-star.
2? Huh?
This is going to be so hard to kill for anyone in this game. Crazy Moving, already eyeing and thinking to himself, this is such a good spot.
Crazy Moving is moving crazy right now. How did they get a Wukong 2 this early? That is absolutely insane. On that board.
The former Hearthstone and StarCraft 2 player that is now in TFT playing their first event here and is in this excellent spot that we're looking forward to following along with. But for Opal here, having that spell blades that gives a lot of extra AP after their cast and really good items on an upgraded Syndra 2 here, looking pretty good.
Yeah, up against that Witchcraft Way. That's 4 Witch on the board for Experion. But it will be Opal looking to lose here, maintain that streak. Not going to be the case, however, kind of griefing each other's streaks, unfortunately. But Experion is able to get that 5 loss online.
Yeah, really good for Onstay and Paul here, able to get a 5 streaker and a 4 loss streaker here. So the economic power in their favor, as well as saying you're able to pull out the win there to keep the win streak. Yes, he is.
Yeah, Songyup 5 wins, Experion 4. Jipo also on a 4 loss streak there towards the bottom with 81 HP. We see Ugul with a Ginsu's on the Jinx, right? We've seen some success out of Jinx being rerolled. It was a little bit of a day 1 Wukong Jinx. Wukongs are going to be contested this game if Ugul is going to be kind of leaning towards that option. But for now, it's just strong with Hunters, Vanguards, and Dragons on this board.
Yeah, not sure exactly where this will end up. We now have Jinx pair, so Jinx 2 early would be quite good. It is a pretty good unit if you're able to get it upgraded and have Hunter in early. The items, though, are not great for continuing on this Jinx live. No swords quite yet to provide damage.
Yeah, not too much damage, however, yet. Maybe they want double Rage Blade, right? There's already the other rod on there, but starting to, just assess the spot of Ugul here. They don't have a ton of gold, they are going to be maybe not rolling down next round when they go to level 6. It just depends if they think they're strong enough, right? The board still is okay. It's taken some round wins in stage 2, but not able to, you know, get that full streak, of course. And a lot of swaps for left and right side there. Ugul trying to, you know, practice that micro there.
Yeah, not slamming items here in this fight, but the opponent does. That is saying, yo, the win streaker from Navi. And so trying to not lose by too many units here is Ugul, trying to save HP, but not ruin his partner's streak.
Yeah, definitely not ruining the streak. And it is a Hecarim too, which I suppose at this stage of the game does do some damage. It does provide some value there. So probably a big part of that now 6 win streak for Seongyo.
I'm convinced you just hate horses. I don't know.
Yeah, I had to think on that one actually. Maybe I do just hate horses. I don't know. I've never ridden a horse before, never had the opportunity. Maybe I just don't like horses. I don't know.
They're a little bit scary. They're kind of really strong. Anyway, the TFT game's happening.
Yeah.
We have silver augments on screen now, taking that item ladder that we've talked about quite a bit. Or this item collector, I'm sorry.
Yeah, item collector. And we do have some great upgrades coming through actually. Due to Sor finding that Mordekaiser 2. We do have the re-rolling potential come through with that Pandora's Bench for Jipo. Jipo finding a lot of upgrades on other tier 2 units and trying to reroll those into Rumbles, Gallios, Syndras, right? We still have that Syndra 2 on the bench from way before, and it is going to be a slam of an adaptive helm onto the Syndra, which is not the best, but hey, at least it's some on a generation.
Yeah, and something to call out too is this early Nami really opens up this trait web quite a bit, able to get Mage in possibly, but also make sure that Eldritch unit does have a spot in these fights early on.
Yeah, definitely is. It will be very interesting to see what these units roll into. If Jipo is able to high roll, you know, get kind of lucky, he will be in a very, very good spot. But if they just consistently don't roll into units that he wants to, Jipo will be looking pretty rough here and probably go out in the bottom 4 because of that.
What we've kind of seen across this tournament is it just matters.
What?
Wow.
2 of the 2-star 2 costs rolled into a Rumble, and that's just a Rumble 3 on 3-3 for fun?
I am stunned. That was actually insane. I was just about to say it matters a lot about when this happens. When do you get the units that you need? And the game said right now.
That's crazy. I guess Jipo,
Wow.
2 of the 2-star 2 costs rolled into a Rumble, and that's just a Rumble 3 on 3-3 for fun?
I am stunned. That was actually insane. I was just about to say it matters a lot about when this happens. When do you get the units that you need? And the game said right now.
That's crazy. I guess Jipo would have wanted to have the tank items on the Rumble instead of that Galio, but like, yeah, that's some crazy RNG.
Yeah, and now he can't roll Rumbles in his shop, so his rerolls get more effective.
Yeah, true.
And this is just a fantastic spot for him now. Having that solid front line, obviously not itemized, but just even the HP bar alone this early into the game is something that many people aren't going to be able to deal with. We're seeing it on display right now, a match that he would have very clearly lost, but now this Rumble 3 is onto this backline.
Yeah, Rumble 3 is onto the back line, and it is going to be a win, it looks like. However, it is kind of close, Waycast, but no. Rumble 3 diff, and the TFT gods have blessed Jipo here. Navi showing up strong.
And Crazy moving up at the top as well. We saw that insane spot that they had, as well as Tardaman, who's on that 7-win streak, has only lost that first round of the game.
Yeah, just lost the first round, but still 6-streak. Tarman up there. The top Crazy moving right behind, both tied 95 HP each. As we get a bunch of components, of course, because we do have the loaded carousel coming through. Going to be more likely to find that best in slot for whatever carry that you want. A Galio being rolled into. That's nice.
Yeah, very nice. We'll definitely want the 3-star of that as well. I imagine, yeah, we'll start rolling for more of these upgrades just to continue to roll. Clearly, it's the game's. What is happening? This guy's so good.
Yeah,
Oh.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I didn't expect that to be the case, wanting to swap the items over to Rumble, so yeah, selling that. I don't really understand the thought process there. I think, Galio 3 also a big part of this comp.
Yeah, I also think, I don't remember if this is true or not, but if you re-roll that Galio into a different 2 cost, doesn't the item pop off?
I actually don't know. I don't think I've seen that interaction.
I don't know
so,
either.
Yeah, I'm not 100% on that
Anyway,
one.
something that somebody should try someday. I don't actually know what happens.
Yeah,
Worth a shot.
definitely. I hit up some of the TFT devs and get confirmation on that one. As the Wukong that never dies shows up and takes down Jipo in that matchup very decisively. Another rumble.
More rumbles, please.
I think okay, more Galios too. Like, what is happening?
And I think something that is very interesting about that Wukong specifically is not only is it surviving forever, it's also gaining infinite amounts of gold too as we go through this game. And so they're just going to keep chilling there. Level 7, 50 gold as Crazy Moving on a 7 win streak. They're going level 9. They're going level 10. They're going to win the game. At least they're set up to do that.
Yeah, there's a Kog'Maw re-rolling on their side here. It's hard, man. That's why Jipo was holding these units like Tristana, but not really going to be worth doing that much longer because they also just need to get strong here soon, as there's a lot of damage coming out from the backline of Tartman, and Syndra 1 just not able to get the job done. Rumble 3 also not quite tanky enough as we reach the end of stage 3.
Yeah, and for Tournament, like, knowing that all of these Rumbles are already gone out of the pool can just absolutely probably erase that from your mind as a possibility of something that you will even have the opportunity to reroll in this composition.
Yeah, Dudasaur kind of middle of the pack here, still being stuck on a Syndra 1 themselves, but a decently strong front line now, of course, with that Locket in there. Going to be part of the reason that they've stabilized here a little bit. They are decently, positioned in terms of economy. Gonna be able to level up to 7 next round, maybe go to 8 on 4-2, but they might wait just a little bit longer as well. I could see that definitely being the case.
Crazy Moving and Tardaman on these incredibly long win streaks at the top of our lobby. We'll be wanting to continue those, but it's something we need to keep our eye on. They both have a significant HP lead over the rest of this lobby, and it's one from each team. So something that will play a huge part in the later part of this game, but no one is even close to as rich as Crazy Moving. 75 gold, level 7.
Yeah, the next player is about, 20 gold off, but is pushing XP towards level 8. I was thinking, what did Crazy Moving want to do here? Is it reroll for that Wukong 3? They can still do that at level 8, by the way, but they might not be committed to that. They could just go level 9, play this kind of very standard Syndra line. Wukong 2 is still a great frontliner for now.
Man, and will continue the winning ways, quite possibly. That Fiora found for Experian already. Oh, the way! Able to pull out the win. So Crazy Moving losing that streak at the beginning of stage 4 is not the worst thing in the world. Tardaman also losing their streak. People are starting to get stronger across this lobby.
Definitely, as we get our gold augment to finish off this game here. Martyr, Capricious Forge, or Duo Q, but no, we're rolling everything. Unified Resistance is always a solid pick, but no, it's going to be Martyr. Giving that HP whenever a unit falls over, and Song Yo leveling up to 8 and rolling it down. Wants to find some karmas, but being okay with potential Callista route here as well.
I also heard the sound of a 3-star being rolled somewhere into this lobby. And so something to keep our eyes on as we go into these next matchups. Somebody has gotten lucky and hitting what they're looking for, but for saying, yo, there's not much direction.
Yeah, Preserver Karma, but 1 star of a lot of those units, and it is going to be a 3-star Kassadin coming through here for Ugul. Has that BT, Rageblade, and Archangels for that extra AP.
And wow, already hitting that 3-star Caston is so powerful, and we'll open it up for the rest of this lobby though. This Rumble really started this, the path of having an easy path to get these 2-stars, right? Taking a lot of these out of the pool, re-rolling them every round is making this a lot easier for people to hit what they're looking for.
100%. Ugo did have a Silver Veil as well to prevent the first CC in the combat, so that Caston 3 not being as pressured because of a lack of Quicksilver. Crazy moving here again. However, level 8 has rolled a little bit, found a couple of Syndras, still denying units like Kog'Maws, like Nunus as well, but not too much work in their favor. Did not find any Wukongs during this roll.
Also something to keep an eye on, Jipo has lost a round, even having that Rumble 3, has not quite hit the rest of it. And on the other side, we see someone that is holding these units from Crazy Moving. That is 5 Wukongs on the bench of Jejusaur.
Yep, there you go. The target griefing is going to be happening, of course, and Crazy Moving with that in mind just says, hey, that's probably fine. I can just push levels. I am so rich. I've saved so much HP. It's okay. Even if I lose rounds right now, which, you know, he's starting to. Lost the last 2 out of 3 rounds. But not too shabby still, however. Sitting towards the top of the standings. Just 1 HP separating Crazy Moving and Totem.
Yeah, and you see the HP lead that they have on display. They are still almost 20 HP up on the rest of the lobby for both of them. And so just have that wiggle room and able to save the gold and be a little bit greedy here. Tardaman still rolling down for many of his units, the Honeymancer units that he's looking for. Not having Kog'Maw 3 yet. Obviously not going to be able to hit that Rumble 3 very easily. And so continuing to roll down at 20 gold for them.
Down 20 gold. Jipo has hit Syndra 2 finally. They were stuck on Syndra 1 for so long. Yeah, Galio 3 as well. They are re-rolling 3 separate 2-star 2 costs to try to hit this Syndra 3. Not hitting any of them yet, however.
The best thing would be for all 3 of those to roll into the same 3 costs, and then you get a random 2-star 3 cost.
And imagine if it's Syndra with that 0 stacks.
Yeah, right?
That'd be tragic.
That would be. What would you do? Re-roll it?
I guess so, yeah. I mean, it's like kind of useless, so I guess you would have to.
I think the bench takes into account the amount on the pool. So I imagine there's enough Syndras out of the pool where it won't be able to roll into all the same thing. But wow, this Wukong is so unkillable. It is not even funny.
Jipo not using the Zephyr they have on the bench as well. They may be thinking it wouldn't really make a difference in that matchup. They just have to pray that this roll will provide a Syndra, and it does not.
Just more Rumble. That's all it's providing.
More Rumble. More of these Honeymancer reroll units. Oh, man. Do they just sell? Yeah, and roll. You kind of have to at this point. Not hitting anything.
Yeah, this is looking kind of doomed here. Now able to get that temporary Bramble Vest to provide some sort of sustain to this front line. No Majin, still on that level 7, so not quite able to get as powerful as possible. We'll keep an eye on that fight to see if that HP does go below 0. But this matchup with a Callista 2 already is quite strong.
Yeah, Callista 2, granted the items aren't amazing, no attack speed, just that 3 multi-striker. If it procs, she will still be a huge threat. Gwen, however, getting into the backline here, BT and Spark able to take out one of the backliners, but Syndra still remains. Now Callista versus the world, and she makes it happen with that rend.
Yeah, breaks the 8-loss streak, though. Maybe not exactly what they wanted to do, but Syndra 3 is here. And Jipo was able to win that last round, and now might be able to go on the miracle run that he's hoping for.
Yeah, big round for Jipo. Syndra 3, Rumble 3, and Galio 3 now on the field. Still a very long way away from level 8. And you really want Vex to come through there, and that's why we see Jipo rerolling these 3 costs now. Does need Mordekaiser 2, but oh, there we go. Mordekaiser 2 has been found. Feels good.
Making 20 gold also is very valuable because we need to get to that level 8, and so we need some gold to be able to do that. So now also we'll be hitting the next gold upgrade. I imagine we'll get some sort of magic shred. We have the components for a shiv. We could also go blue buff for this karma, but yeah, we'll be going possibly
Or
red buff as well.
Wait a minute. But there's already a sunfire on this board.
Yeah, that's also the rumble burns and wounds as well.
Yeah.
So,
Jeepo,
yeah,
I mean, okay, there's a lot of attack speed that comes through with the red buff. It does still spread that maybe a bit more than the rumble would be able to if it's stuck on front line. Good Zephyr.
Totem has now hit everything he's looking for, has hit the 2 backline carries as well as this new. Just the TG on this new though, so it will be quite squishy, and they're not able to get through this rumble very easily. The very, very good Zephyr
CC
onto the Kog'Maw was wonderful, and that will keep them in this game.
Yeah, I think that actually might have made the difference in that fight. It did seem like rather one-sided, but that was just because Kog'Maw was in the air for so long. If he was able to provide all that damage, might have gone the other way. But Sangyo now has upgraded the Rakan, the Gwen, and the Callista. Still sitting on a pair of Fioras, however. But this is still a pretty creative, solid-looking board.
Yeah, using mentorship excellently. Using that Morgana to buff up every single unit around. That's the hardest part of this, making those 4 costs buffed. And you see that all across the board here with that Camille in the backline as well.
Yeah, Camille a big hit to actually kind of turn this comp up a notch as you get to buff up with that Chrono and the multi-striker for the Callista.
And this fight going much better now that we have this Rage Blade on the Callista, able to fire away on the backline. That last snip from Gwen.
Wow.
Oh, almost falling down there is that Callista. So crazy moving, losing a bit of HP there, down to 64, but still head and shoulders above this lobby with the amount of gold they have already being level 8. But the sad news, Jeepo out in 8th place.
Yeah, that Syndra reroll, you know, hitting into that very early rumble was fantastic. Galio followed suit, but just too little too late, unfortunately. Judasaur also still holding all of these Wukongs, making it that much harder for Crazy Moving to hit.
That item is now on a magical journey to find its way to this board. But for Jejusaur, it's looking like this Syndra comp is finding a little bit of weakness here in EWC. It is now maybe going to occupy the bottom 2 spots as this Witchcraft emblem composition is going to take out Jejusaur. We have Syndra going 7-8.
Yeah, usually we see the Kog'Maws go 7-8 or the, you know, multi-striker or something like that, but no, it's going to be the Syndra players who have, I guess I'll say low rolled a little bit. Definitely that is coming into play. I want to say like, oh, Jeepo had opportunity to high roll a bunch, but no, it just, you know, wasn't really able to come through there.
Yeah, the damage just wasn't quite there. I wonder if it was itemization or some other thing that made it not possible for them to establish that win streak.
Yeah, I think itemization is a part of it. Jeepo did have the adaptive on the Syndra, which isn't great. It is still like okay though, as yeah, Crazy Moving just has so much gold. They're going up to level 9 with still 60 gold remaining.
Man,
absolutely crazy here for Crazy Moving. Hey, and why don't we just go for Karma 3?
sounds like a good plan to me, a good way to win this game, but also take these karmas away from everyone else in this game. That there's many players playing this Witchcraft line that's going to now not be able to hit Karma 2 as easily.
Also going for Bard 3 randomly is 2 Bards away, even though it has 0 items. That's definitely funny at this point in the game. Just that rich, we can go for everything.
And we see a lot of the golden units once again from Totem, but without any real frontline items, it gets a little bit awkward for this composition to be able to stall long enough. The CC from the Nami is going to be huge here and allow the Syndra to keep casting and win them this fight. So Opal staying alive and Totem taking a pretty big loss there.
Yeah, oh, Sangyo actually goes down in 6th place. So Navi taking 8th and taking 6th means that they have to go 1st and 3rd at least between Crazy Moving and Ugol to clinch this victory.
Yeah, going to be very difficult. Crazy moving though, set up excellently to be able to do something crazy here in this game and go for that first place. Has spent a lot of the resources now. 1 off Bard 3, 3 off this Karma 3 that could absolutely change the game. But the big thing that would spike this board is that Wukong 3. Need 2 more of those to finish out this composition. As the Kassadin jumps to the back line and does terrible amounts of damage.
Yeah, the front line with just the Wukong there is great versus most compositions, but when Kassadin is just able to walk across the side and get into your back line, you really hate to see it. Kind of gave a free path there, needs to fix up that positioning in the future from Crazy Moving. But we do have Opal going out, so our same win conditions that we just laid out for Na'Vi have to happen. But Opal, of course, going out in 5th means that On Sait still, have a chance, however.
Yeah, they need to send Totem or Experian out in 4th place here to have their shot at winning this game. But they also need to get that first place secured. But the first step, send out one of On Sait out in 4th.
Crazy Moving, having a bunch of gold again. Oh. Another Karma, just 2 away. There is a lesser champion duplicator, so we're going to be using that on either a Bard or a Wukong here soon. There is another Wukong, and yeah, I think that should just be used. That is so strong. 100%. That Bard 3 doesn't really do too much. It would have been cute to get, but not necessarily needed.
Yeah, and not itemized at all, right? If it had some items on there, it would make a little bit more sense. But wanting to prioritize itemizing these 2 carries alongside this Wukong and also this Morgana, that just provides a lot of utility.
Yeah, that Morgana getting a secondary tank item now, as it is going to be Crazy Moving versus Totem. Totem could fall here.
I would imagine he will. This is an incredible board put together by Crazy Moving here. The pieces are falling into line for Na'Vi to be able to take this first game win. Totem out in 4th place and Crazy Moving in a spot where that top spot, that first place in this lobby, is looking very possible.
Experion needs to win to deny Na'Vi the victory. He's on a 4-win streak right now, but Crazy Moving has made a drastic improvement to this board with that Wukong 3. Experion, however, this is a strong Witchcraft board. It is 6 Witchcraft. It has a bunch of emblems.
The win condition is the problem here now for Crazy Moving. That Karma 3 was exactly what they're looking for, but all of the Karmas are out of the pool. They need to find that duplicator. Actually, there's 2 more. There's one more in the pool, and then they need to find that duplicator. So if Experion hits that Karma 2, it's going to be game over for that win condition. But this Wukong is so incredibly powerful that I'm not sure it's going to matter.
Yeah, the Wukong did fall. However, wait a minute. It got down to just the Morgana Experion. See the frustration on their face, though. They know that match is winnable. Maybe some good late game charms can do the trick. And hey, this is a decent one with the Radiant Spear of Shojin for Karma. However, it's not going to be the best. It's way better on a unit like Syndra, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge spike, though, to this board, which in a really close fight, that's going to make a lot of the difference. We do have this Rakan now in the front line, a little bit of positioning difference happening here, and we're going to need to see some of these win conditions come to life.
Yeah, exactly. Crazy Moving, denying all these Karmas. So Experience still on a Karma 1. Will that Radiant Spear be enough?
It does provide a lot more mana, but on a low mana champion like Karma, that is not as important as shredding something like this Wukong would be. Wukong barely taking any damage, and every time he casts, gets that giant shield, and still at the same time farming gold, and also experience HP bar. Na'Vi pulling off the victory, their first victory of EWC. What a fantastic game.
Definitely. Even with Jipo kind of low rolling, getting that 8th place, the rest of the members were able to clutch up and take that victory. Crazy Moving with that Wukong 2 super early, getting all of that economy, building it up to push to 9, get that Wukong 3, and ultimately take the victory there. So well played, and nice to see another member of Na'Vi really step up to the plate when it matters most.
Yeah, one of those games that was, again, decided by this tiebreaker of who wins the match. And for Na'Vi here, that was crazy moving. Absolute MVP of this game, I can tell you that for sure. Having that Wukong 2 with that Mogul's Mail so early was so incredibly dominant in this game. Farming gold throughout the whole game, able to push them to level 9 here early and then get some of those golden upgrades.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the case that we're seeing a lot here, is only one, maybe two members of each lobby has the gold to push up to like some crazy levels, like level 9 and level 10 even. But a lot of the time, players are very poor. They might be capping out at level 8, but just sitting there rolling the whole time, not only trying to improve their board, but really crucially trying to deny the opponents and their key units as well, right? Is it more worth it to go level 9 for yourself, or more worth it to deny a crucial 3-star from the enemy? Oftentimes it's going to be to deny that 3-star.
Yeah, and we're going to take a look at some of the highlights from our match here. Watching these crazy rerolls happen for Jipo, that led him to an 8th, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Was not exactly the ending we were expecting from a really early 3-star.
No, I mean, the Galio 3 came soon after, but the Syndra with the subpar items, right, just never really able to make it work. Maybe with some better Zephyr positionings, right? We didn't actually see the round where Jipo did fall, but oh, we see some very, very close matchups, right? The Callista from Sangyo, it did end up actually falling in 6th place, but yeah, just such crazy, I think, play across the board there.
And we see Flexible, one of my favorite augments from the set, just being on display here as well. Getting that top 2 is, you know, really impressive, using that Witchcraft emblem given at 2-1 to its fullest advantage, but sadly it wasn't enough to take the lobby win. Experian losing to Crazy Moving here at the last fight, losing that tiebreaker because of this first place by Crazy Moving. Well done by them to use their advantage to their advantage.
Yeah.
Able to push that economic, all of the gold from that Mogul Mail to a victory.
Yeah, 100%. And it was so close too. The frustration was on the faces of the Onsei Pod team, as they know that was just inches within their grasp to claim the victory. And being down 0-1 in this series is so scary. One more loss from Onsei Pa will send them home. They need to clutch up, but we're going to see if they're able to do it right after this break.
Have you got what it takes to get to the top? It doesn't matter how high you climb. To reach the top, even the biggest champ needs a break. So you can recharge, dive back in, and dominate. Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
Na'Vi has taken their first win of EWC and are hoping to continue on those winning ways. It was a tie broken by the first place player. But going into game number 2, maybe on St. Paul can tie it up again.
Yeah, on St. Paul, we saw how close they were to getting that victory and how devastating it was for them to have that just fall outside of their reach. But still, the game was very close. I think it could be on St. Paul bringing it back. Hey, we've had game 3 for the first couple matches of the day, so it definitely could happen here again. And we knew that we could be in store for some long days, CLE, right? But with just the caliber of players that we see and the closeness of, the strength of these teams, right? Even we can say that about our next series as well, potentially with Team Vitality and MSJ. But we do, of course, got to get through Na'Vi and On Sepa first.
Yeah, I believe that Na'Vi really finding their stride there in the game a little bit, able to position themselves to get that top spot. And just some of these players weren't having quite the best performance across the board, right? There wasn't that many players we looked at were like, yeah, these guys are crushing it. Just those top 2 were able to set themselves up above the rest with crazy moving and experience, getting those top 2 spots with those crazy advantages that they had early in the game.
Yeah, definitely. And kind of looking at how some of these games have played out, it is kind of surprising that even when Kog'Maw isn't contested, right, sometimes it can still just completely fall flat if you get denied a little bit too much. You need a lot of things to come together for that composition to have success. You really need to hit every single one of those pieces with Kog'Maw 3, Tristana, Nunu, and of course that Rumble. But so many Rumbles, taken out of the pool by Jipo, so Tardaman didn't really find any success with that. And I still think on Jipo's spot being like, I can't believe that didn't get anything more than an 8th place there.
Yeah,
it really seems like it should have gone, at least 7th, which isn't too much better, but still it's it's really impactful in this team format.
Yeah, I think we're seeing some of the flaws that come from re-rolling, right? We're seeing some of just the vulnerability of them. We saw Syndra go 7-8, and it was a Syndra 3 with 2 3-star frontliners that went 8th place, which is absolutely insane in this game. We've seen Kog'Maw struggle because they're contested. We have seen so many of these different re-rolls like multi-strikers and whatever else people decide to 3-star have problems because of being contested. And that's exactly what we saw in this game. And so going forward, who will be able to innovate the most? Who will be able to play these crazy lines that able to cap out these games, get those first places and the notable top 4s?
I think the only reroll that we haven't seen struggle is that one cost Zoe reroll, right? Every time we've seen it, it has performed fairly well. We've seen it at least twice, maybe 3 times so far. So maybe if players get that spot, they'll be considering that as we get into game number 2 of On Sait Pas versus Na'Vi.
And these portal decisions are quite impactful usually, but these ones are not the most game warping out of all of them. They will be going with the golden prelude, but it does open the option for a lot of these hero augments that we have not seen nearly at all in this tournament.
No, really lacking on that. We've seen maybe a Sweet Tooth with Nunu, wait for that Cog reroll, but it was contested. Haven't seen any of that Galio augment, have we? But that would be exciting to see. Maybe players being offered it, but just saying, no, it's a little bit too risky. I want to go towards kind of that surefire strategy in just one of those, you know, few compositions that have found a lot of success.
Yeah, and it's just really easy to target grief those, right? Like, if they just are looking for that Galio, just hold some Galios, right?
Yeah,
it
good
makes
point.
a ton of sense and just identifies really that one unit that everyone needs.
100%. If they're like, okay, Galio is literally their whole win condition, hey, everyone on our team just hold like 3 Galios. We're gonna make it really hard for them to hit, and they're probably gonna be going out in 8th with that in mind. So definitely a good call out there as to why you probably see those being avoided more times than not.
Especially, yeah, this team format really just changes the way that these things work. And we keep seeing it with these rerolls, right? Being target creeped specifically by holding some of these units. And for saying, yo, looking at one of these options here now with that multi-striker reroll.
Yeah, a couple multi-strikers. Ashe is upgraded. A cloak on the bench, with cloak is good for a couple of Kassadin items. No Kassadins yet, however, and if you don't find those, then, you know, Ashe is an okay carry. We have seen one time this tournament multi-strikers try to be re-rolled around that Jax and the Ashe. I don't think it worked out very well, though, if my memory serves correctly.
It was like my favorite thing to play on PBE was that Jax reroll. And speaking of these hero augments, we see one on our screen now. Spider Queen, okay in the statistics, and especially if you can hit that at least 3 really early, can use that to your advantage. But in Cancer Emblem includes a Syndra, which is everyone's favorite thing, but support Golem instead being the choice with the unstable treasure chest to give some items every round is pretty good.
Yeah, it's good in the early game, but it definitely falls off. I think that's one of the weaker items to get on this support Golem, because at the time where you're in the mid game, late game, your big tank and your carry are already going to be fully itemized, so there's just not going to be too much value out of the other members there. But that is category 5 coming out from Judasaur here.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite augments in the set right now. It's just really unique and really brings to life one of these items that is not built super often, being this Ruin's Hurricane, which we may see, 2 of here in this lineup for Judasaur.
Absolutely love it. Whenever multi-strikers are online, whenever it procs and there's just so many missiles flying across the screen, Kassadin even being able to get the extra auto attacks to win that first round versus Tardaman. And we've seen category 5 once, right around that Jinx reroll, and she's a very, very good utilizer of that augment.
Yeah, and it's something that sits just right around a 4.5 average placement. It just fires that extra bolt that does basically the same amount of damage as the original auto attack, 95% of it. And so if you're able to get a unit that has a lot of attack speed to send out more bolts, or lots of just raw AD to have those auto attacks hit harder, category 5 can be super impactful.
Yeah, 100%. Really curious to see where that ends up, if it will be the Jinx or maybe another line. But Ugul here with that support Golem as well, getting the Aegis. That is the much better option, at least towards the later stage of the game, comparatively to that unstable chest. Chest is decent right now, but will it be enough to take this round win versus Ugul?
Yeah, not the ideal support Golem across the way, but Ugul is definitely happy with his solution here. But no item slammed means he is wide open to whatever the game has to give him. Looks like he could go for that Kog'Maw route, having 3 components that are excellent on Kog'Maw, but not quite committing quite yet. Wow, there's 2 Kog'Maws in that shop.
Yeah, that's a lot of Kog'Maws. Also the opportunity to transform a 1 cost, which is pretty appealing. Even if it does hit the Poppy, I think that's still gonna be a win.
Yeah, I'm curious if they're gonna re-roll. No, they are here. Does hit the Poppy, so now they get a big upgrade.
Yeah, that's crazy actually. They I was wondering, okay, maybe they sell everything besides the units that they want to play on their board. It's like a 1 in 4 shot to hit the Poppy, but they do hit it. That's a big bastion, that front line there. Wouldn't be surprised if Opal would slam a tank item on that Nuno right now, maybe a Sunfire, but no, is just going to be the raw quality of that unit on this board right now. Oh, okay, slamming a Steadfast Heart.
does slam later into this fight, realizing what is going on this board. And so we'll be taking a 4-unit loss. If they would have slammed earlier, it could have been a different story.
Yeah, definitely
But
would have been.
instead, taking a big loss, we'll be able to move up in pick priority, though.
Especially with Steadfast Heart, right? That item specifically gets more value when the wearer is above 50% health, right? You get 15% durability instead of just that 8%. So definitely would have made the difference of saving an HP or two at that point. But a little bit of indecisiveness here, really, in terms of that decision.
Man, this first carousel is so important in this game, locking people into some of these items. We see so many unslammed components. If you look at the bottom of our screen, so many people non-committed to compositions because they want to remain flexible. They want to be able to play some of these stronger lines, but aren't sure where people are going to end up.
Yeah, there's one Syndra? Oh, there's two. Okay, I was like, no, surely it's not just one. Okay, I saw 2 Syndras there amongst the compositions, and I guess people wanted to keep their options open because if they do hit early Syndra, all right, cool, you want to slam all those items that are good for her, but if not, all right, I guess we're going to be going maybe Karma items, but we still could be seeing other directions as well. We have seen some creative comps come out, right? Maybe, you know, some Pyro, maybe it's just some Witchcraft, Callista, Fiora action.
And for Totem here, it looks like we're just going for some Kog'Maw action. We're going to be playing Lost Streak into Kog'Maw, being able to pick some of these units up, that 2-star Rumble on bench, and also that Tristana that he's going to have a pair of on bench as well. So, lots of good parts of these units, but it looks like he might be contested this game as well.
Yeah, 2's healthy, though, is really, really strong. With the Kog'Maw composition, it features 4 2 costs that you want to run between Trist, Cog, Nunu, and Rumble. Other compositions, even with the Shapeshifter Syndra, only really running 3 maximum, so getting massive value there. For On Sait pas, though, Opal still has that Nunu too, but considering dropping it here, maybe.
Yeah, considering the lost streak, this will get him to 30 gold for sure. Maybe even possibly that 40 gold mark. We'll just hit 30 gold instead and keep that Nunu upgrade in to try and save as much HP as possible.
Yep, I think I agree with this decision in terms of just playing strongest board. The 3 lost streak isn't really good enough to warrant it, but it is going to be a Death Blade now with the double Runans for Venusaur with that category 5. Nunu, however, is so very tanky. He's not going to be taken out even if the rest of the team will.
Man, but I'm thinking that this might be that 1-cost Ashe reroll. If you're able to get the multi-striker procs with this category 5, this could be the most powerful Ashe you have ever seen.
Yeah, true. They still are on level 4. So the potential is very, very much there. I guess we'll see if that will come into play at 3-1. That will definitely be indicative of if they have 50 golds, right? Where is that gold being spent? Is it XP or pressing that D key?
And we're seeing On Sait pas with the early economic advantage, Experian with the 5-win streak, along with Yugal from Navi. But at the bottom, we have 2 lost streakers going on here. Tardaman with the 5 lost streak and Jejisaur with 4.
Yep, 5 wins here, top of the standings, but also a couple players. 3 out of 4 of On Sait pas being able to streak pretty decisively, though, is definitely a boon in their favor. Sangyo getting some solid components here.
Yeah, looking like this could be a flex towards Karma, but they have currently on their board multi-strikers. We see Jejisaur here rolling down for this Ashe too. Will hit that here. Continues to roll and trying to find more of these 1 costs.
They shouldn't go too much deeper, however, because that economy will be so hard to recover. Oh man, I guess hitting a Jax upgrade, but definitely stop here.
They're probably going to try to make 20 gold here, but that was a pretty tragic roll down. No cast to either. And so the secondary carry of this comp, which they have some items for, especially with that Crown Guard, not finding it. But look at this Ashe. It is so powerful, killing the backline units.
Yeah, category 5 really showing up big here with this Ashe. Venusaur does get the round win, and yeah, selling off the pair of Shens there to make 20. I love that decision. Shen does not need to go on this board yet. We still have an Ashe 3 to get, question mark, because I actually don't know from that spot if Venusaur is going to be committing all the way there into that strat.
We see all that Shimmers Plus, which is one of the premier augments in the game right now, gives a lot of economic advantage, but with Syndra comes Spell Blades, which really helps them after each of their casts to do as much damage as possible. The roll down here, finding Syndra 2 finally, plus an extra copy, able to get 4 Vanguard in.
Yeah, it's even better this support golem got this Aegis, because giving the extra attack speed to the Syndra is massive, right? We have the open tier, we have the open bow as well, so hopefully when we get to the carousel, Google will be able to complete one of these items, but we have a very strong front line, of course, with the Steadfast Heart being slammed on a Warwick 2, and that can just be swapped out a bit later once we find that Tom Kench very easily.
Yeah, this support golem is the exact reason why Yugal is so healthy and was on that win streak. Able to give this attack speed and some resistances to this team is extremely powerful. And you see it on display here as well. So many casts coming through. That will be a 5-0 for Yugal, just showing the dominant power of this composition.
Experian rocking the Syndra, of course, but with the shapeshifters looking potentially like a reroll option, as shapeshifters are generally paired with Syndra with that in mind. We get to see at least 30 gold here.
The common problem, though, with this Syndra is finding the Syndra 2 is seemingly impossible sometimes. Still on Syndra 1 with not even a pair.
Yeah, not even a pair, though, is really, really tragic. We get to see, at least for me, the most interesting number here is going to be those rerolls, right? Venusaur has rerolled 36 times, or spent 36 gold on rerolls, however, so that's 18 times, right? But 0 gold spent rerolls for 3 other players in this lobby.
Yeah, he did roll on that level 5 to try and find Ashe upgrades, and it took him quite a long time to do so, so that makes a ton of sense.
100%. Let's see exactly how far this Syndra 1 is able to go for Experian against Tartaman and that Kog'Maw reroll. Kog'Maw having Last Whisper and Guard Breaker is solid, but yeah, just not quite strong enough versus the Syndra.
I don't want to speak too early, but for Tartaman here, this is looking not so good. Not being able to hit almost anything on their roll down at 10 gold and still lost streaking here is not very good here in this mid game.
No, it's so hard to recover from that position, and I think we have to kind of go back to the point about when is it too much, right? When are you over rolling? Because every 10 gold that you go down, right, it makes it that much harder to recover that economy back up to 50. Sure, you want to stabilize, right? That is a big deal. But if you're just not hitting anything and you keep setting that D key down, you're just been going 8th and make it that much harder for your team to claim that victory. And honestly, Pa really does have no room for error right now, being down a 1 in this series.
Yeah, it's not looking the best right now, but we've seen these games change so incredibly quickly throughout the tournament. All of a sudden, it flips on its head, and one of these teams is in the driver's seat. I do want to look around our lobby and see that we saw on the carousel as we looked at augments that 5 out of our 8 players have this support golem on their team. And so we will see a lot of them fighting each other to the death later in this game.
Yeah, not any here, but most other boards do have them. Tristana 2 upgrade did come through for Tartaman, but yeah, not much more. The front line still struggling. Only really that Rumble.
And the Rumble's not even one of these. I mean, it's an important piece of this, but that Nunu is such more important to this composition's success just because of the Honeymancer and being able to use those bees effectively.
Definitely. Nunu with a lot of survivability, right? Healing up on every cast. All 3 is not a good charm. Just pressing the D key and hitting a Nunu 2 at least. We get that upgrade coming through, but so far from the rest. 3 Rumbles, I guess, is the closest one. 4 more Kog'Maws to go as well.
Wow, and this board is a little confusing to me, have not spent any gold on rerolls, but instead trying their best to stay as healthy as possible, probably looking to go to that level 8 and just keep their econ and use it all on level 8 to go for that karma composition.
Yeah, Songyo, 64 HP, 3 loss streak. There is a bit of value, of course, with that unstable chest, but it is not good enough going up against players such as Experion. Still win streaking throughout all of stage 3, even just with that Syndra 1, the Shapeshifters putting in a lot of work there for him. Hey, there's a pair.
Continuing to look across our board, there is a pair of Syndras, but it's still this Syndra 1 as making this board on a 10 streak, which is quite impressive throughout this game. No one on that super big loss streak besides Sangyo on that 4 losses we saw through the end of this stage.
Yeah, the Ashe reroll is happening for Judasaur, but they were still quite a ways off. They had 2 Jaxes to go. Looks like 4 Ashes to go as well. So not very close.
I'd love to watch that roll down here, see if they can hit these upgrades. Still many of these away, but getting that Jax is huge, taking those ones out of the possibility for these shop rerolls. But still, where are the Ashes?
Okay.
There's one, and there's a couple of Collies as well.
Yeah, Kali getting close, same as Ashe, just one more. I think we set it down to 0 with that in mind. Ashe 3 would be quite the upgrade. Need to keep Callista, but we can. Oh, all right. Finding another one actually in the shop. Does find a Hecarim pair. Jax is a good tank for this composition, right? The Caston is going to provide a lot of good frontline as well. But 1 Ashe away. As soon as Trizor hits that, I really want to see how strong this comp will be.
I mean, it is pretty strong right now. This Ashe is doing so much damage. This Jax is going to be the premier tank of this composition, and he's hoping to build towards that Cassidon as well, putting the Crown Guard on them instead of putting it on the Jax right now.
Yeah, 100%. We get our final augment
Another support golem
of the game. Another player getting a support golem, and it is going to be a massive one with that chalice here for Opal.
That's so funny. We are level 8, rolling it all the way down to try and see if we can hit that witchcraft board. Where is these karmas that we are looking for? Where are these Fioras?
They're just not being found, right? We see the preservers. There is 1 karma. That is nice, but no Fioras yet. The Gwen is being slotted in. All right, 1 Fiora. There we go. Got 2 Warrior online. The frontline upgrades, however, are not here. The Bard upgrade, and I still continually dislike this choice to upgrade the backline Bard when the frontline is still very poor. I think that's kind of a waste of 6 gold and would be much better spent trying to maybe find a Nico 2, find a Rakan 2, and things like that. But actually all these items are going onto the Morgana instead of the Fiora, and I actually kind of like that decision from Opal here.
Yeah, it would have been okay on the Gwen as well. The JG plus the BT is quite good. But this Drain tank using Preserver quite well also, and Witchcraft is this Morgana. Great traits on that champion this set. And so we see the power there, not able to die and doing a ton of damage.
Yeah, Crazy Moving taking a big hit in that round as well. 3 losses in a row. Dropping just 19 HP. A couple more losses would do it here. And it's this flex board around the Callista, right? We got Sniper's Focus in the Rage Blade, but the front line is very rough right now. Those Gwen items wanting to move over the Jewel Gauntlet perhaps onto the Karma. The Callista upgrade is here though, and that is a big one. Exactly what Crazy Moving needed.
Yeah, I mean, it's some of what Crazy Moving needed. He needs frontline, and he has some of it in his shop. Yep, that Shen 2 will be a big help, but that's not going to make that big of a difference in this fight. That Nasus 2 is the huge upgrade we're looking for.
Yeah, definitely will be a good one. Shen is all right. It does have a couple of Bastion. Maybe Fiora can find her way into the back line. Does dash past the support golem, as the karma damage actually is good at feeding Fiora mana without letting her, you know, just fully die. She does get another cast off, but Callista has a lot of work to do, and she's not able to do it. Crazy Moving taking another loss down to single-digit HP in just 1 round until they're out.
That Zillion stun was massive, and as we head to this stage 4 carousel, finding some of these 5 costs for some of these compositions that need them, but also really important items. So for Crazy Moving, that is the blue buff completed, which makes this Karma significantly more powerful.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to be having that paired with the Jeweled Gauntlet, as well as that Morello's. So big damage there coming out of the Karma. But again, like you're saying, no frontline items, no frontline upgrades besides that Shen is still very, very scary. Jipo, however, is going to be leveling up to 8 now. Had to wait a little bit longer than the rest of the lobby, but still is able to save on that gold, and I think that's a really, really big deal. Has a pair of Tom Kenches now, maybe going to be going for these extra Syndras to potentially have Syndra 3 be a win con here.
Yeah, items are pretty good. He will have a 3-item Mordekaiser when he gets to that spot, but it's taking a while to get to a comfortable place. Thankfully, this Syndra is so stable that he was able to be healthy enough to go 8 a little bit later and roll it down there. But the frontline upgrades have not come through. You don't have that Nami yet that really makes this board and this trait web come alive. And so we're seeing some of the power, just raw power of the Syndra on display, even with a lackluster frontline, able to do lots and lots of damage.
Yeah, definitely. The Radiant Virtue for Ugul was very powerful as well. Crazy Moving is able to get that win. Definitely a match that I was very looking forward to seeing. The next one too is going to be very important if Crazy Moving can hang on.
That Morgana could be an interesting slot in as well. Not playing the Witchcraft variant, actually doesn't even have Witchcraft currently in, as we go over to one of our other players who is on that current loss streak, still not hitting any of these upgrades.
Totem in such a rough spot here. Still 2 Nunus to go, 2 Kog'Maws to go, 2 Rumbles to go. Even further off of the Tristana, being 4 away, but Crazy Moving, we gotta take a look at here. And oh, this is a rough matchup. Can the Callista power and the Karma power shine through?
Spreading the front line will be incredibly valuable, so the Syndra CC does not hit, but most of the front line has fallen down. Fiora also will be falling down here shortly to the Syndra. Crazy Moving. The front line is not able to withstand the onslaught from Syndra and the dying of this new cutscene from Misfortune. Crazy Moving, our last game champion, falling out in 8th place.
Yeah, the duality of Crazy Moving there, going all the way from 1st to 8th. A little bit of low rolling in this game, of course, but hey, there's situations that you got to be prepared for. A Jace 3 with the Thieves Glove. Don't think we've seen that one yet. Jace 3 on the board here, but it is Syndra reroll with the Shapeshifters. We are still pretty far away, though, from a lot of upgrades, as it is 5 Cassiopeias, 5 Shyvanas as well, and not even any extra copies of that Syndra.
Yeah, it looks like Experian has accepted his fate of having to go level 8 and not really reroll some of these other units. And as I say that, he starts rolling. Yeah. The Ashe is finally here. It is 5-1.
Yeah, I just really wanted to hit that earlier. Would have been really nice to have that in stage 3, but we're all the way in stage 5 now, as the Ashe is here. Going to have Akali being sold off, right? There was a bunch of copies of Akali earlier, but no items for her. Now we get to see how much damage this Ashe can do.
And one of the interesting things in this lobby is we see for Enseigne Paw, these 2 players towards the bottom of the standings still on level 6, have been stuck here for a while trying to get the upgrades that they need. And I don't know if they've all come through for Jejusaur, but this Ashe at this point of the game is still quite strong, as we're seeing, but is having a little bit of issues.
Actually, it looks really, really cool. The front line might not be good enough for the Ashe to continually find wins, but it just shreds the back line while hitting frontline units, right? That's the power of the category 5 with that Renaissance Hurricane, having 2 of them.
This is an actual composition that if you get this in your game, you should try either the Jinx variant with Wukong or this Ashe that is absolutely shredding the backline, as you said, with those bolts.
Yeah, rolling down here for Totem. 1 Kog'Maw off. That's a big upgrade. Nunu has already been found. Rumble now found. And Kog'Maw as well found exactly everything that he needed the matchups now are going to be what Tardaman fears, going up against Jipo here with that Syndra.
That extra declaw will be huge in this fight. It will swing it in significantly more in his favor, being able to survive a lot more of these Syndra orbs as they come in. The CC, though, is devastating to this board as they do clump up quite often. The Nami wave coming through and CCing the entire team and the Syndra orbs onto this backline, sending Tardaman out in 7th place.
Yeah, you hate to see it. It's like,
Oh,
okay, I
no.
hit everything, and then just being eliminated. Oh, man.
And Opal dropping down to 10 HP as well.
Yeah, on Sait definitely looking a little scared here. Judasaur has won the last couple of rounds, but if they go out where they lie right now in 6th and 5th, that will be Na'Vi just claiming the victory and on Sait going home.
That would be devastating to not even pick up a single win here at EWC for them. And so they're really hoping and giving everything they have here. Opal rolling all of the gold possible to find this Karma 2 and just can't do it. Can't find any of the pairs. No completion happening there. Experian on the other side, though, has this 3-star Swain now.
Opal in danger. I don't know if he's gonna be able to do it here. That Fiora in the backline, but she has no healing. She has no BT. The Morgana isn't gonna be able to hold for much longer. She falls down. The karma damage isn't enough. The Swain is so low, but it is Swain 3. Opal takes the loss and goes down. Judasaur takes the loss and goes down to 10 HP as well. Just one more round could clinch this victory here for Na'Vi.
And right now in this situation, going 7th and 6th means Experian would have to hold on, go 1st place, and Jejusaur would somehow have to get that 4th place position in order to give themselves a chance. If Jejusaur drops out in this bot 4, it is game over, and Na'Vi moves on and stays alive in our tournament.
Sangyo, 19 HP, probably 2 lives though, as there's so much that Judasaur needs to do. Did find a Camille, but there is no Callista. Really wants to hit this 7 multi-striker. Rolling one more time, potentially could sell off that Shen, but does not hit it. Needs to win this round.
Even getting that chrono in, though, is a pretty huge buff. Able to get a little bit more attack speed on the team and maybe give Ashe what she needs. But facing some legendary 2-star on the other side is quite strong, as well as 2 unstable treasure chests. They're going to give lots of items to the opposing team. The tanks now have way more items. A lot of the board has fallen. It is Ashe and Jax versus the world, and it will not be enough. Jejusaur will fall down, and with it, the hopes of Onseipa.
Onseipa is going to be eliminated here in the EWC. Na'Vi claiming victory here in this matchup in 2-0 fashion. Such good recovery from day one from them. We saw a lot of struggles when they were facing Team Falcons, but able to shore up their weaknesses, as we see all smiles from them there on the camera.
Yeah, a sense of relief for sure, right? The danger of going home has been lifted right now from them. They'll have another opportunity to make it into the playoffs tomorrow, able to play off in that decision maker match.
Yeah, but for now, Experian just kind of shrugging. It's like, yeah, I guess I'll play it out, you know? Might as well end off this tournament with as good of a result as I can get. They are playing a fairly strong board here, still looking for that Cassiopeia 3, just one off, but face up against Jipo here.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter too much anymore, just going for that victory lap. But Experian trying, they wants to have some sort of pride in this last game, not able to quite get that win, but maybe submit themselves as the top finisher in this final game to get the points a little bit closer.
Yeah, maybe Experian's like, hey, if I get first place, it wasn't my fault. It was my team. It was my team, not me.
Yeah, right? Oh, that was what Jipo felt in that first round for sure. And now the sense of redemption that comes with the rest of the team joining him at the top of this lobby.
Yeah, the rest of the team really stepping up, though. Gotta sing the praises for Ugul, Sungyop, and Crazy Moving, right? Crazy Moving did go 8th in this game, but already put in the work in the previous one to clinch that victory, right? so very well done for them. Hopefully we will see on Sait in the future, right? A lot of these players are extremely talented. We've seen a couple of them do well, you know, in the Vegas Open. A couple of them do well in the World Championships before. And we do hit these upgrades, right? Not only the Siobhan has been upgraded, but the Cassiopeia now as well.
Okay.
And double Rage Blade. Hey, Experience looking like they could actually win this lobby with this board.
Yeah, that Swain 3 is quite powerful as well as a very unkillable tank. Obviously not 3 tank items, but that Ionic Spark really opens up the possibilities for this composition to do tons of damage to the opposing front line. This board's looking quite good here. This board on the other side with not a lot of upgrades is looking like it did its job in getting its top 4, but it is kind of ready to be done.
Yeah, the stun came through at this fight, but really I think the Cassio is maybe going to be the highest damage dealer now, as the Swain's just so tanky. Oogle struggling to get through that massive HP bar. And Experion finding a pretty decisive win there.
Yeah, definitely positioning himself in a place to win. Obviously, he knows there's no elation on his face because their run here at EWC is over, but taking that victory lap, giving it all he's got here in these final rounds.
Yeah, still want to sing the praises of, even though we're going to see some teams being eliminated today with 4 teams, they still gave it their all, right, in this event. They still got here, which is an accomplishment in and of itself. They still walk away with $5,000 for their entire team. So a little bit of money and a little bit of like, hey, maybe next time we can make it further and make that dream run happen.
Yeah, absolutely the case. Maybe they'll make their appearance back here next year. And obviously, this is a 4v4 tournament. They're used to playing individually, and so maybe this is a great learning experience for them. Now able to take some lessons back to their individual gameplay and go dominate ladder now.
100%. The biggest lesson that you can take away from any of this is the power of, you know, griefing people in the lobby, right? Denying some units.
Seriously.
If everyone's on the same page, it is so powerful, and you just send somebody out in 8th place. We saw 2 players being eliminated there, as it is now just a top 2 situation between Jipo and Experion. Jipo, the best scoring member of Na'Vi yesterday, and is saying, yes, I still got it here today. My team has stepped up, and I'm now going to lead them here into potential victory, right? They already won the series, but still first place here in this game on the line.
Yeah, able to get to level 9 with this Syndra board that we've seen. Once you hit that Syndra 2, you can go to the moon basically with your levels. So incredibly stable with this Vanguard frontline. But will it be enough to beat all of these 3 stars on the other side, especially with that Dragon's Claw now picked up via the Charm, now able to make that Shyvana survive for a bit longer. The CC coming through is quite significant. The Xerath trying to hit the backline, but taking down that Swain is near impossible. Experian able to get that win narrowly.
Yeah, so close versus Jipo there. The round could definitely go either way as we get a couple more rounds in here, right? A lot of HP was preserved from both of these players because of, you know, just how well they played their early and mid game. Experion getting that Gargoyles, Jipo getting the Jeweled Gauntlet.
And this will be our maybe one of our final fights of the game. We might even make it to stage 7 here on this second game of match 2.
True.
A Natus 2 is a significant upgrade, and for this board that's already winning.
Karma 2 and Nami 2 for Navi's Jipo. Almost a little tongue twister there, but yeah, some big upgrades. Maybe that will be the difference in this fight here.
It sure will be, and we will see this fight here. Experian staying on level 8, re-rolling these 3 costs and 2 costs and making it work for them in this game. The team did let him down. Even if he goes first place, they have no chance in advancing in this tournament. But this board looks quite good. The Shapeshifter Syndra is still a very good option in the meta, but this fight is quite more lopsided without that Dragon's Claw. Jipo able to put it together with that Karma 2 and the Nami 2.
Yeah, some big upgrades, right? Definitely outweighed the upgrade of the Nasus 2. Nasus 2 has no items. It is an okay frontliner, but a lot of the power is just going to be in stealing that HP from the front line. But, you know, he's backlines right now. It takes a little bit for him to get up there and get that cast off.
And this will be possibly one of our final fights if it is very lopsided. Gipo versus Experian, one team versus the other. Experian cheering up his team a little bit, seeing that they can win these games, but not quite win the match. They were so close in a lot of their games, not able to quite put together the team performance needed to get a match win at this point. But Experian, with those suspicious trench coats, does soak up a lot more of this damage, but is it going to be enough to take down the rest of the team? It will be. Experian not quite out yet, though.
Yeah, I took the headset off, saying, all right, you know, I'm 1 HP, but I might as well be 0. But we are, I guess, technically going to go into Stage 7, as we get a little bit of time to just reflect on all of the great action that we've seen out of these two teams, right? Even though Sait didn't get a match win, they still had moments of greatness. They still had players step up and be like, all right, yeah, no, I have a good solid game here. They just needed that all to come throughout all of their members, which unfortunately, you know, didn't happen. But Gipo, of course, one of the strongest Na'Vi members, definitely going to be looking forward to how Na'Vi progresses into tomorrow, right? They are going to be facing up against some strong competition there in that losers bracket, but just one more match round win until they make it into playoffs. Na'Vi definitely feels the excitement of winning this match, and now it's just one more step to get there.
And I have some news for you before this final fight. Team Falcons has fallen to Toronto Ultra, the Americans mixed team. And so Team Falcons, after 2-0ing at Na'Vi in the first round, will have to face them again in the decider tomorrow to see who will be in the playoffs.
Oh, Na'Vi maybe feeling scared once they realize that is the case, because they did get 2-0'd pretty decisively. But for now, Gipo trying